What's going on, guys? Welcome to Think About It Reviews. And I just got done watching The Equalizer starring Denzel Washington. And I gotta say to Marvel, give them the script already. If you're planning on making it, just give it to them already. Because pretty much Denzel Washington is Frank Castle. He's been Frank Castle for a while, and it's no different in this movie. Let's get right into it. Starting off this movie, I had kind of low expectations. I figured watching the trailer, it was just going to be about Denzel Washington helping this girl he befriended, who was played by Chloe Grace Moretz, and she gets hurt, and he pretty much takes out the guys who hurt her, and he's pretty much caught in a situation where he bit a little bit too much that he could chew. It is like that in the beginning. But I thought, we'd have more of the relationship between Chloe and Denzel Washington's character, the prostitute, and Denzel. Denzel Washington plays Robert, and Chloe plays Terry. And Robert, Denzel Washington characters, he's just a nice guy. He wants to help everybody. It seems like he has a past, but he reminded me a lot of Morgan Freeman's character from Seven, where he was just well kept. He had his own little routine that he goes through every day, and that was a lot like Morgan Freeman. Now, and of course, he goes to this diner, and that's how he meets Chloe's character, who plays a prostitute. And they interact with each other every night, and there's a lot of people he interacts with, including he works at like a little Home Depot kind of place, and he also befriends a guy who needs to lose weight to become a security guard. Which, okay, you wanna really push to be a security guard, okay, buddy. Well, anyway, so we get into it, and that's exactly what happens. He pretty much, Chloe, like in the trailer, gets hurt. He goes after the people, and of course, when he goes after the people, it's the people he doesn't want to mess with, because guess what? It's the Russian mob. And from there, from the first act going to the second act, going to the third act, it's a whole different movie. It's really, I'm not gonna go right. I mean, there's no twists and turns. It's really generic. You've seen this before. You've seen this all before, but I'm not gonna dive really into this because that'll be a spoiler talk. But let's talk about, basically, to let you know, Denzel Washington in this whole movie is a vigilante. He's pretty much the Batman. He's taking care of business. There's corrupt cops. He takes care of corrupt cops. He's taking care of the Russian mob, and they're going after him. And they send this guy who's played by, I believe, Martin Kiskotz. And you know what? As the villain, he wasn't too bad. He wasn't too memorable. I mean, he didn't really ham it up or anything like that. I mean, he was okay. He was okay. The acting wise, he was fine. Just nothing too memorable. Well, he's sent to go after Denzel Washington, and you have this little cat and mouse thing going on, especially towards the end. So overall, this movie, yeah, let's talk about the lighting. The lighting was great. The look of the movie was great. The directing was great. I think there was only two parts where I questioned it. There was one part where it seemed completely too dark for one scene, and the second scene was the director was holding his camera on this. Why are we looking at all these tattoos in a body? That's all I'm going to say. So the directing, the lighting was good. The music-wise, towards the end, I actually enjoyed the little music they had towards the end of the final climax. Denzel Washington. Let's talk about Denzel Washington real quick. Denzel Washington is Denzel Washington. Every movie, he's Denzel Washington. I mean, we don't even have to give him a name for a character, because he's Denzel Washington. And you know what? You can't hate the guy, even if he's a villain, even if he kills people. You just love Denzel Washington. He flashes a smile and basically, whoa. Well, anyway, Denzel Washington pretty much carries this movie. This is all about him. And I'd probably be snoozing if it wasn't for Denzel Washington, because this movie hinges on his performance. And of course, Denzel Washington plays Denzel Washington, and he does a great performance. It's not as good as Flight, but Flight was a whole different kind of movie. But this movie is pretty much generic. That's the problem. There's no twist. There's no turns. It's pretty much Denzel Washington being Denzel Washington. And that means he's taking out people. He's showing how much of a badass he is. So all in all, you guys are going to enjoy it, but you're not going to remember after walking out of the theater because it's just another film that you could throw in a pile. And let's talk about Chloe Grace Moretz. She did fine. Like, she's hardly in the movie, so if you're looking to see her and her performance, she's not really in it. Now, I will say, what else could we talk about? I mean, that's really about it. There wasn't really too much to go into it. Like I said, it's just a generic Denzel type of movie. It was a little bit too long. There could have been things that could have been cut, that could have been edited. There was little different stories going on that they didn't really need overall towards the end. It was just weird how they switched from it was a little bit slow in the beginning too. It starts picking up maybe towards the end of the second act and definitely the third act. But this movie, it just starts one way and then it just completely goes the other way. And that kind of took me by surprise. And I don't know if it was a good surprise or a bad surprise. People will probably love it and then people will probably hate it. But all in all, this movie it wasn't a treat. It was. Do I recommend it or do I not recommend it? And for the people who are spending their good money on this film, I can't recommend this film because basically you've seen it before. And there's better Denzel Washington movies out there. But, that's a big but. It's a good movie for DVD, Netflix, Redbox, whatever. But I could see this going number one, honestly, in the weekend because there's really nothing much out there except Box Trolls. But all in all, this movie was fine. It was directed fine. The acting was fine. Denzel Washington had to bring the acting up, and he's good all the time. But it was a little bit too long. I think it was almost like a little bit over 2 hours, which, like I said, the editing could have been better, and it could have cut it way down. And yeah, don't be surprised if this movie basically just goes on to a different route than you actually figured. But all in all, I can't recommend it. But if you guys are gonna go watch it, let me know what you guys think about the movie. Let me know if you thought one way that it was gonna be, and then if it was good that it went a certain way. Before I go though, I gotta recommend 2 movies. If you do not want to watch this this weekend, if you're waiting for it on DVD, there's 2 movies that I recommend you watch, or if you want to see that stars 2 of the main stars. Well, 2 of the stars I think have great movies out there that I know of. And Denzel Washington, there's a little flick that a lot of people, if you want the fun action type of Denzel kick-ass battery that kind of has a little twists and turns here and there, and it's just fun for everybody, I recommend Two Guns starring Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg. It's like a buddy cop, but a lot of action, a lot of humor. It took me by surprise. It was actually really, really good. I recommend that one. And the second film I recommend stars Chloe Grace Moretz. It's called Let Me In. It's a remake to Let the Right One In. And if you like the vampire lore, she plays a little girl who's a vampire who befriends a human child. And that one, actually, the cinematography, the shots, it's just a well put together film. And I recommend the original too, because that's where it came from, and that's a well put together film. So basically that's it. I know you guys are going to think about my review, and I know you're going to think about the movie, whether to go. But if you go, let me know what you guys thought about the movie, and if you really enjoyed it, if you didn't really enjoy it. But all in all, just grab a seat, enjoy some good popcorn to eat. I'll see you at the movies.